Hello and welcome back to Divide and Conquer, but version 4.5 with the latest hotfix. And welcome to a brand new and slightly different campaign. In this campaign I will be playing as the Dominion of Isengard, under our great and powerful ruler, Lord Saruman. And this campaign is going to be a little bit different from usual in the sense that it is going to involve other YouTubers. I'm doing a Hotseat campaign with several other YouTubers, and I will quickly go through who they are now. So first of all, a massive thank you to, I think, the guys that really have set this up. So Steel Crusader, Commander Soul, and Izzy. And especially Commander Soul, who went to all the trouble of updating our files and things to get this Hotseat campaign working. Now, I'll go through who everyone is playing as and everyone that is going to be joining in this campaign, and I will include links to their channels down below in the description. Please go check them out, they're all great, and I'm really looking forward to playing some DAC with them. So, jumping on in then, so the first of our adversaries is the Principality of Dol Amroth, and that will be played by Steel Crusader. Now, our greatest enemy, Rohan, will be played by Izzy. And I've actually used to watch a bit of Izzy's content years ago, when he used to do videos of Pixelated Apollo. I think he did a couple of online battles, so it's interesting to be playing against someone I used to watch. So we have Whitewolf in command of Mordor, my staunch ally against the evil of, well, evil? I won't say evil, the good guys in quotation marks, because they're not really good, that's fake news. As you're already aware, I am playing Isengard. Commander Soul is playing Harad. And hopefully he'll do better than I did as Harad in my campaign, hey? Hawk is playing the Khandish Hordes. And Sir Augimund is playing the Ar-Adûnâim. And the Argonaut will be playing Gondor. And that's everyone. That's everyone involved in this campaign. As I say, I'll include channel names and things below. A bit about how this will be working. I'm probably going to post my 5 turns. I'm going to do them in my videos in like 5 to 10 turn splits, I think. And then we do have a list of rules and things. I will put the rules that we use for this Hotseat campaign in the description. And then I would recommend, if you want to do your own Hotseat campaigns with your friends and things, maybe head on over to the Divide and Conquer Discord channel and just hit up Soul or one of the other admins over there, and then they can maybe talk you through how to do it. And I'm pretty sure there's probably a modding discussion. God, words are hard. I'm recording this at 11:30 at night, so I'm sorry if I'm a little bit tired as I'm doing this, but I wanted to get this out because I do have a plan in my head and I've got an idea on what I want to be doing. So let's rock and roll, and I will see you all in the campaign in a moment. Hello and welcome to the battle map, and let's jump on in as Isengard. Now, I haven't played Isengard in DAC since, God, it must be version, maybe 4.5 now. Sorry, it's 4.5 now. Must be version maybe 3, maybe version 2.1. I can't remember, but haven't played them in a long time. So let's have a little run through. I do have a bit of a plan on what I'm going to be doing. So because I won't be posting this video immediately, I'm going to let you know right now what the plan is. So there is a few rules about not being able to sell things like map info to the AI to get cheap money, but there's nothing about selling settlements. And interestingly, I can't declare war for the first 10 turns of the campaign. I have to make sure that we're peaceful for the first 10 turns. That's one of the basic rules of the campaign. So one thing that I am interested in, though, is what can I do to Izzy, Rohan, early to try and maybe throw them off their balance. Interestingly, Dunland starts at war with Rohan from game start. Now, there is a direct border between Dunland border region, so Dunyard, and Eisenrun here at the Fort of Eisen. So my plan is, I am going to sell Eisenrun to Dunland. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to get maybe, you know, as much money as I can up front, 1,500, and then try and get, you know, for 15 turns, maybe 1,000. That's about double or triple what I'd get out of Eisenrun in the base game. And as a result of that, I'm going to get something, a lot more income. I'm not going to have to keep a unit in there to keep it garrisoned. And hopefully, Dunland will move forces south to start harassing Rohan with some of their units. Now, as I say, I might do the same with Bregnas as well over here, because I'm going to get more money out of selling these two in the early game. And one thing that Isengard we're going to struggle with is we do not have the economy or the production to ramp out units at the same rate that Rohan does in the early game. We do outclass them, but we just don't have the amount of units that they do. So the other thing that's going to be of vital importance is holding a zone of control. So something that we struggle with a little bit as Isengard is zone of control and number of regions. So I'm going to need to hold the bridge, I think, against Rohan over here and over here to stop them sneaking troops in the early game. The last thing we want is them just popping up out of nowhere with units. So something interesting as well is that Commander Sol created a custom general for all of us. So I picked to have Orthanc sentries led by Lunag, or Lunag. I'm not sure. I haven't quite decided how I'm going to pronounce his name yet. But this man is Saruman's butler. He's been in Saruman's service. His family, full generations of butlers that have served Saruman, and now he goes to war against the Rohirrim that he hates with all of his might. We have Grima, of course, and to achieve my aim of trying to speak to Dunland, I believe the Dunland village is somewhere over here.
Without question, my lord. Tomorrow's journey.
So I'm going to start making it up in this direction because I really want to talk to Dunland as soon as possible. Now, Ugluk, I'm going to send him towards Bregnas. And we're going to immediately lay siege to Bregnas.
Is that what you want?
Is what I want. Now, one of the other rules is we are doing the general rule, where you can only have one general per army, and you're not allowed to have more units. Sorry, let me just get this right in my head. So it's your command star times 2 for number of units. So Lunag has command of 6, so he can have 12 units in his army effectively. Now, let's take Lurtz and get him in position. And maintain the siege just for a second. And then let's have a look at the armies here. So, Lunag, we're going to move onto the bridge. And I'm going to take the Uruk-hai. Yeah, I'm going to move you up north with the archers and these raiders into this fort. And then we're going to move you into there. Now, the first building we're going to get, obviously, is the building camp, because you can't go wrong with building camp. And we're going to get a load of our slightly cheaper units out. And I'm also going to recruit a... Well, should I get the diplomat, the second diplomat, or should I get the Orthanc sentries? It's a very tough choice. It costs 50 upkeep to get another diplomat. Oh, you know what? We'll start building the Orthanc sentries. Might as well get units out while we can. And that's pretty much everything that I want to be doing in the early game. The only thing left to do
get ready for fighting.
Really is invade Eisenrun. So what I'm going to do is I am going to, I think, drop a quick save here, and then I will see you on the battle map in a moment. Hello and welcome to the battle map, and I thought I would start by showing Lurtz in his glory. Look at him. I must say, I watched the two towers actually tonight, almost in preparation, it feels like, for this. And may I just say that this Alert's character model is kind of beautiful, isn't it? So here we are at Eisenrun, the village of Eisenrun, and we're not facing that much by the way of forces. There are some sellswords that we're going to need to be careful of. And another change that Sol made at my request, maybe somewhat foolhardily on my respects, is I wanted Lurtz to be an Uruk-hai archer unit. Purely because, you know, I don't think he should have berserkers, as much as it makes him, you know, a much more valuable unit with berserkers. I think having Uruk-hai archers actually makes a little bit more sense. So what I'm going to do is, let's position our troops. So I think we're going to take the raiders. Yeah, let's take the raiders. And position them over here. And then let's take the Bane Guard and position them over there as well. And then make sure they're both not on guard mode. Very good. Let's have the Spearmen in the centre. Yeah, let's... Still getting used to the camera controls. I'm not playing it in full screen mode like I normally do. So I'm learning the camera controls quite nicely. Okay. And then let's put them on guard mode. Okay, and let's rock and roll. Okay. So we can bring up the archers. Let's start with Lurtz. And I will be pausing. Anyone that's watched my campaigns previously knows that I do pause. It's just the way I like to play. Okay, and let's move up. Yeah, let's have the raiders just move up a tad, just a smidge. And then let's have the Bane Guard, yeah, move over here. And then have a look at our enemies. So we've got some bandits to fight. Just a few. Some peasant militia, which are very weak. And then some yearling archers. And the sellswords, which, to be honest, the sellswords are a tough unit to crack. Especially with the forces we've got here. If we had the berserkers, it would be a lot easier, but we don't have the berserkers, unfortunately. So we're just going to have to make do with what we have. So I'm going to move these archers around just a little bit more as well. And then Lurtz can open fire on the sellswords. The quicker that we're able to kill a few of them and maybe some of the archers, the better. Yeah, and let's make sure that these guys are making their way around. Now, the AI sometimes wigs out a little bit when it comes to these battles and you start shooting them with archers. They go a little bit like blurry-blur. So let's just sort of keep an eye on that. Now, you guys have got a pretty good range on there. So an example of them going a bit blurry-blur, as I say, is what they're doing right now. So let's move these archers around here. And then just make sure that these guys don't do anything funny. We don't want them to sort of catch up to us. Yeah. And let's get the Bane Guard to make their way around now. So the archers have gone this direction, which is exactly what we wanted. We want to push the archers back with our own archers towards the Bane Guard. Because if the Bane Guard get a hold of them, they will absolutely massacre them. So that is the plan. And then Lurtz is still able to open fire a little bit. He can use the bandits. He can shoot those guys. Yeah, just peasant militia, and bandits and things. We can handle all that quite nicely. And I can move back these guys just a tad. We want our archers to do really as much damage as possible. Right, start opening fire, please. And get the Bane Guard involved. I have no idea where these guys are going. Right, and I might as well send up the spearmen. you shoot those bandits, please. And you guys have got a perfect shot into those sellswords. They're just going to sit there and take fire by the looks of it. Which is very good. Yeah, so I am cheesing the AI a little bit, but we've lost not a lot for sort of what we want. And yeah, these guys are in a perfect position to charge now. And speaking of being in a perfect position to charge, we're doing some decent archer damage here, and we're going to be able to flank them just a tad. Right, let's double check how we're looking here. Yep, we've taken some losses from the archers, but we're going to hit them in combat. And we're going to get a good flanking charge on these guys, which means I can probably, yeah, get around the flank with these archers. Yeah, so the AI is acting sort of exactly as I wanted them to act. Stupidly. Right. And it looks like we have made contact with the archers. Go on, charge in. We should make mincemeat of those archers.
If we continue like this, we will smash the enemy.
Yeah, and our spearmen are taking a bit of a weird flank, I must say. Right, so these guys have started to retreat, which means I can bring up my Uruk-hai raiders to attack the peasant militia. And I'm going to redirect my archer fire now over there. Because they've got a great angle on them. They've got a great angle actually on both ends. About face! Come on, Lurtz. And I imagine we will quite quickly make short work of them. Yeah, so the sellswords and things are making their way in that direction. They're all heading towards the Banegard might be our sacrificial lambs here. But if that means we can break in over here, it'll be completely worth it. Because I'll be able to get a surround on them pretty quickly. Come on, Uruk-hai raiders. Hurry the hell up. Can you get a decent angle over there? Let's get you on top of the hill, maybe. Come on, Lurtz. Because... Right, perfect. Very good, we broke through. So the Spear Guard have handled business. Let's bring them up. And then we've got the raiders going that way. Let's take these archers then and move them up to here. Good, we've got a decent charge with the raiders. So the real question is it best to use archers to try and bring them down? I mean, we're not going to have the best angle, are we, to be honest? Let's see if we can't lend a little bit of support. So let's try and charge up there. And let's try and give a little bit of archer support over there. Yeah, and you should be able to get into position. Right, please surround them. Hopefully the Banegard can get into position. And hopefully you guys have got a great angle to shoot those guys. If you would be so kind. And you know what? Lurtz, you're not doing much good up there. Let's have you form up behind. And then let's trigger the Uruk-hai because we are losing a decent amount of Banegard.
Only half the enemy force remains.
So we have lost 8%. That is actually a fair amount. But the raiders are cutting through those guys like butter, and the spear guard are dealing with these bandits and from the behind as well, so that's pretty good. And hopefully our archers will be firing, they're firing near perfect shots into the rear of the peasant militia and the sellswords and the bandits. So we'll have Lurtz shoot the bandits, I think, and we'll have this unit shoot these guys. Now, they're not the best archers in the world, but 4 missile attack is at least decent, and Lurtz himself actually doubles up as a competent enough melee unit. It's not, you know, I don't want to chuck him into melee, but if he's forced to go into melee, he'll probably do alright. And it looks like our spear guards are doing the business. Archers are just, they're ripping apart these bandits. Bandits shot in the rear by archers with 4 missile attack will do the job. It's just the peasant militia now. So form up if you'd be so kind. It's just a bit of a slog at this end point, but as you can see, the archers are doing their job. We're going to concentrate all of our archer fire now over here because we've done most of the damage over there. We are going to lose that unit of Vanguard, but as long as I get enough of them, I can retrain them. So we just need them to survive a little bit longer while we deal with these stupid peasant militia. And as you can see, we have done a lot of damage. So we're down to 67 sellswords, 24 bandits. We've nearly run out of ammo. When the time when the time comes, I can get Lurtz involved. Right, so you're out of ammo. You know what we're going to do? We are going to take you out because I don't really want to lose you unnecessarily. And Lurtz can fire off his last volley of arrows. He's out of ammo. Let's pull him up. And those peasant militia, with the aid of the town square, have held up quite well. But they haven't really killed anyone.
Men are in command of the city.
Right. I'm going to let those Vanguard fight to the death. Because one thing that Lurtz has going for him is an extremely high level of command. All of our units will fight to the death. A bit like these guys on the square, apparently. Okay, there isn't a huge amount of them left. They're down to their last 4. 2. Finish him. Come on. Let's charge in. Right, let's take Lurtz back out of there because he didn't exactly get a good charge. And then let's use the Uruk Tide. There we go. Right, there goes the last of my Vanguard, but hopefully some of them will heal. And we're into the 4-minute timer now. which I think means that we might win by default relatively soon. I guess it depends what happens first. Now, we want Lurtz to stay out of the fight. But yeah, these swordsmen, these sellswords, are a real pain in the ass. They really are. But 35 of them is not an issue. Let's speed it up. Let them fight it out. I mean, if they break it, it'd be great. I would laugh. There we go. That's it. Battle over. Let's end the battle. So we got a clear victory. We did lose 221, which isn't great, but I don't think there's a better way to really do it. The Uruk-hai archers both did very well. Raiders got 85 for not many losses. And the Bane Guard did heal 29 and the Spear Guard healed 19. So that means that we're not looking too bad on the Spear Guard. They're actually still combat effective, which is good. It means I can probably keep them in the front lines. Okay. So the first of our conquests. Now, I'm going to take 28 because you don't get any gold for looting or exterminating, so let's occupy it. And look, they don't like us very much, what a shame. But what I'm going to do is, we are going to take Lurtz. And let's take his retinue.
No sleeping here.
And position them here in the forest. Now the reason why I'm putting units on the bridge and the little bridge crossing here is to stop Rohan from coming in. I know they can't attack anything yet, but I don't want them being able to come into our lands. And in fact, you guys, I wanted to move out as well. Come on, out you go. And let's send the Bane Guard back to get reinforced. Or actually, you know what? Who's the most expensive? I guess you guys. Although you are better than the Raiders. Substantially better than the Raiders. You know what? Raiders, you go in there. Just keep it happy for a turn.
Yes, Lord.
While we send Grima, I think here is where Dunyard is. Okay.
Listen up.
Yeah, and I think that is everything for the turn, to be honest. Let me just go through and make sure there isn't anything else. So, economy-wise, we're going to have about 6,476 in the kitty next turn, which isn't great, but it's not awful. Diplomacy-wise, we're just allied to Dunland, and I'm going to keep that going. And I didn't want to build any watchtowers, purely because I don't get the sight range that they confer when I've transferred the province of Eisenrun over to Dunland. So there's no point in building them, you know, unless I'm going to get something out of it. And I'm happy just to siege down Bregnas, I think, for the next few turns. So yes, I think that is the end of my turn. So, thank you very much for watching episode 1 of this series. And I look forward to seeing you... Well, it's not going to be episode 1, is it? Thanks for watching turn 1, and I will be back with you in a moment for turn 2. Thanks again.